Good morning, intriguers. Today is Transparency Tuesday. So, all right, today I'm going to share another part of my testimony. Before I get started, I want to say a small prayer. Okay, all right. So, got the trees blurred in my glasses. All right, so today we're going to talk about, well, first let me say good morning, intriguers, and arise and shine. Today is Transparency Tuesday. I'm a little shy on camera, so bear with me. I'm only here on camera because it's what I was called to do, and I'm just being obedient to what it is I'm supposed to be doing. So, excuse me. Hold on one second. It's green. It's chlorophyll, liquid chlorophyll. Liquid chlorophyll. So yeah. So the message today is going to be, I don't even know. I'm just showing up. Father God, give me the words. Give me the topic. Give me whatever it is I'm supposed to be sharing. In Jesus' name. Jesus, take the wheel. Yeah, we gonna do that. Jesus, take the wheel. Would you please? Okay, so today I think I want to talk about, what are we talking about? We talking about, I guess, relationships, and how relationships form us to become who we become out here in the world, and the things that and how they shape and mold us and condition us, basically. Yeah, condition. So the things that I was conditioned, and how I was conditioned to be in the world. Growing up, I came from a household where I witnessed domestic abuse, and it started at a very, very, very young age. Very young age, as in single digits age. I think I started witnessing it. It was, I don't remember. I just know we stayed off of 38th and Capitol. Like, most of my earliest memories of my childhood starts when we stayed on 38th and Capitol. We stayed in the house over there. I remember so much over there. I remember starting Head Start over there. So that right there lets you know I was pretty young. Most people don't start Head Start until they're 3 years old. But I started Head Start at the age of 4 because how my birthday falls. And if I'm not a certain age before the school year starts, I have to start the next time, the next year. And I know this because I got kids. I have a grandson. That's how Head Start operates. But anyways, where was I? Oh yeah. Okay, so how do I know that's how I know some of my earliest memories. And I just don't like that clear them trees. but I remember my mom being with her ex-husband at the time. They wasn't married. They were dating. And I'm trying to find the words to explain this man, and the only way that I could really describe him is a monster, as he was possessed with demons. Well, I'm just gonna tell you the story, and I'm gonna allow you to. He was an abuser, and he was an abuser in any and every possible way an individual could abuse someone. That's just what it is. He used to, I witnessed this. I'm not going off of anybody telling me this. I'm not going off of word of mouth, hearsay. I'm not doing any of that. I'm going off of what I myself witnessed and I myself experienced. Lots that I've experienced in my life, that I've been here. But he would abuse my mom, and it was physical abuse, it was emotional abuse, it was psychological abuse, it was intellectual abuse, it was verbal abuse, it was social abuse, it was financial abuse, it was mental, I think I said mental abuse. He was just all around the bad guy. And he went from abusing my mom to abusing me and my brother. And I know that my brother probably is gonna feel some type of way, but I have to share my story. And in my story, there are other people included. As I feel, as long as I don't give any specific names, then everything is okay. But we ended up moving into a different house, and then further east. And before you know it, I was the target of abuse. I was his target. He was still abusing my mom. He was still abusing my brother. But it seemed as though the abuse, it seems as though for some reason he targeted me, and I never could never understand why. I was the wonder kid. A wonder kid is somebody who is always asking questions. I wonder this. I wonder that. I wonder why this is this way. I wonder why that is that way. I wonder why this happens. I wonder. And I was always curious about things. So, and I would just ask questions about stuff. And back then we grew up in an era where we wasn't allowed to ask questions. And if we asked the wrong question, then I got in trouble for it. I remember a time where I asked him, why do you take your daughter in the room with you and lock the door to whoop her? And, stuff like that. And the reason why I asked that, because we started out getting whoopings side by side. If he was going to whoop us, and us getting whooping side by side, it was stripped down naked to nothing and bend over and take this whooping. And it was, those whoopings didn't start, those kind of whoopings didn't start until our bodies started to develop in. So we don't have the body of little girls anymore. We now have breasts. We now have hair. We now have, our body is forming the womanly parts. But this was a way that he would give us whoopings. So it went from that to that. For me, it went from, I feel like I said, I was the target of his abuse. He would physically abuse me. He would verbally abuse me. He would emotionally abuse me. He was emotionally neglectful. He really wasn't there, but neither was my mama either. She emotionally neglected us too. He was abusive. He was neglectful, and he was a groomer. And for those who don't know what a groomer is someone who grooms people for, a groomer is somebody who shapes and molds someone for a specific purpose, or to get out whatever it is they're trying to get out of them. And he was a pedophile too. Yeah. But he would abuse me. He would abuse me in front of my mom. She really wouldn't say anything. She really wouldn't say anything, and she really wouldn't stick up for me, and she wouldn't protect me. And that is how I ended up being rageful towards her. That's how I ended up hating her. That's how I ended up having the relationship with my mom that I had with her for so many years. The fact that she didn't protect me. But I don't feel that way no more, because on my healing journey, I've learned that my mom did what she could do with what she knew at the time. So me expecting my mom to do something that she couldn't do for herself was just crazy. Or it was not so much as crazy. It was realistic. Unrealistic is what it was. It was unrealistic. But me and my mom had that relationship for as long as I can remember. But even now, we still have that relationship, because there are some things that has occurred throughout the years along my healing journey, and she still has that same mentality. to where even if something wrong happened, she still ain't there's no defending me. There's no sticking up for me. There's no protecting me. There's no emotional connection there when it comes to my relationship with me and my mother, and it never has been. And I think that is because of her upbringing. My mother never had a relationship with her mother, an emotional connection with her mother. And now that I'm talking about this, and now that I think about it, it makes a lot of sense. I spoke with my grandmother on my healing journey, and along my healing journey, because I had questions for her. And she's the matriarch in our family. Even though she doesn't carry the title, and people in our family won't allow her to carry that title, she is the matriarch in our family. So I reached out to her because I wanted to know more about my bloodline. I wanted to know more about the things that she had been through. I wanted to know more about her upbringing. And during our conversation, she ended up letting me know that during her upbringing, she didn't have an emotional connection with her mother. Her mother favored her little sister, and that's who her mother put above her. Now, wow, I'm revelation right now, because I never thought about this until now as I'm talking about this. So basically, this is also a generational curse on my bloodline that I am breaking when it comes to these things. Wow. It's heavy. Okay, so that's one of the generational curses. Now I understand why I have the relationship with my mom. My mom never had a relationship with her mom. Her mom never had a relationship with her mom. Now, I'm going to tell you why my grandmother didn't have a relationship with her mom. My grandmother, she didn't have a relationship with her mom. It was because her mom had allowed her husband, which was my grandmother's dad, to sexually abuse her. My grandmother gave me the story that her mom caught her dad molesting her, or somehow, some way, my great grandmother found out that her husband was molesting my grandmother, and she told him that if he did it again, she would kill him. But she stayed with him. She stayed with him. And it continued. It didn't stop. Trickled down to his sons, which was my grandmother's brothers, who ended up molesting my grandma, her sister, my mother, her sister, my cousins, my little cousins, when they had custody of them. Wow. That's a generational curse. For those who don't know, it is a pattern of behavior that occurs from one generation to the next until somebody says, I'm not doing this no more. This ain't right. Now, with my grandmother, even though she said, don't do it no more, I'll kill you, she stuck by that man's side. Now, her husband was my grandmother's dad. That's the thing about that. He wasn't just no random man that my grandmother was with and brought, and he married into the family. No, it was my grandmother's father, her biological father. So that's another curse on the bloodline that I've been called to break. And that's where it started.